Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I am going to do your September the 12th Spiritual Principle a Day in a Meditation. The title of today's meditation, Individuality, Openness, and Our Spiritual Lives. Each of us finds our own way to live spiritually, and that allows us freedom to make choices about how we live. That comes from our Living Clean book, chapter 3, a spiritual, not religious program. Throughout our literature, in meetings from the podium, over a coffee or tea, during late night phone calls, alone in quiet meditation or prayer, we're reminded that NA is a spiritual program. Whatever our individual beliefs or practices or methods or paths are or aren't, whether they be secular or religious, or do not fit within that binary, we can't deny that spirituality is central to a life of recovery in NA. Who we are spiritually and how we express that aspect of our individuality is unique to us. Though we may use elements from all kinds of traditions or none at all, many of us can and will easily explain our relationship with our higher power. For many others, it's not intelligible through words, and it's private, something we'd rather not share about in a specific way. For NA members, the road to recovery is paved by the same 12 steps, yet the journey we choose is varied. Our path to living spiritually is personal, though there's some commonality and mutual understanding derived from the principles that appear throughout this book. Application of these principles is based on our individual needs and desires. We respond differently to everyday situations. We see through our own lenses and react to events in our own ways. And how we connect to the program and its principles and spiritual nature most often doesn't look the same when we're new as when we've become more comfortable in our own skin, or as we undergo life's upswings and tragedies. As we continue our recovery journey, we find the steps prepare each of us to meet our individual circumstances. Reciprocity is important here, too, as described by a member. You have your own spiritual expression and your beliefs, and I have mine. That I can be my own person in NA reminds me that is, you let me be me, I must let you be you. My aim is to be open to the rich mosaic of spiritual expression I find in NA. I'll explore and nurture my own beliefs as I apply the principles in our steps. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the We version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Please and thank you. Powerful meditation, individuality, openness, and our spiritual lives. And basically what it's saying is that while Narcotics Anonymous is a 12-step program and spiritual and not religious, oftentimes people become religious or people become spiritual in the sense of in a secular manner, and that it comes down to each to his own. It's up to you. The 12 steps are laid out there with spiritual principles, and they can guide how we respond to things, how we act or don't act. It can help us center our emotions, and it can also help us center the drive that is within us, that obsession and compulsion that yearns for something to make us feel better. Those spiritual principles in the steps right? And traditions and concepts. They're all available to each and every person. How you use them is up to you. There's a recommendation, there's strong suggestions, there's mild suggestions. But at the end of the day, are you becoming a better individual? Am I becoming a better person? The way that I perceive things, is it changing or is it becoming worse some kind of way? These are things that I have to ask myself, and no one can answer them but myself. I answer those questions, and I don't answer to any other human being in the program of Narcotics Anonymous. That's not a part of the package. I don't owe anyone anything. I owe myself, my recovery, my life, and the people that I love. But in a general sense, I don't owe Narcotics Anonymous members anything as far as an explanation about my spiritual journey, and neither do you. That's what makes it possible for us to come in here and successfully grow spiritually, because there's not a bar, right? There's not a measuring stick that we're trying to line ourselves up against. There's not a person that I need to compare myself to. And that even goes with sponsorship. Yeah, I have a sponsor. I deeply admire her, but her life is not my life. And the things that she pours into my life, I invited her into my life. And so, of course, I take what she says seriously. And then I try to walk it out if it's possible. But if it's not, or I choose not to, that's still my decision. And it's still yours. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. Have a beautiful day on purpose.